Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good whatever it is, wherever the hell you are on this beautiful planet, and welcome to the roast of Ken Ham. Welcome to the Hereticals channel, of course. So if you're new here, if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, or if you're Darth Dawkins, make sure you hit the thumbs down, just so we know that you're okay. So tonight is going to be a real fun one. So we've had a lot of, this has been something that's been in the works for quite a while. Oh, I can hear myself. Who was that? Was that Jen?
No.
It was Jen.
No.
Okay.
Can't be because I can't hear it, so you shouldn't be able to hear it.
There we go. Sorry, that was just the joys of live.
Right, take two from the
if
top.
you don't have an audio problem at the start of a stream,
really streaming.
Exactly. So this will be a fun one. Now, there's heaps of people in the chat. If anyone does want to jump in and I guess talk about their love for the great Ken Ham, just flick me a message and we'll definitely get you in. We've got a stack of content creators who have put some really cool videos together. So we've got some. I've only seen bits and pieces, so I'll be watching them for the first time with everyone. But the little bits and pieces I've seen so far are really cool. And we're also going to be debuting a song dedicated to Ken Ham that was put together with a number by the fantastic Audience Ignorance with the vocals of many people in the community. So I'm looking forward to hearing that one as well. I will introduce everyone. We have got Vagrant Sam from the Vagrant Sam channel. Also, I think the most famous Twitch personality in the country at the moment. Is that right?
Yeah. At one point, I had like 30 viewers at once when I was technically breaching copyright. But anyway.
Well, we won't tell anyone. That's all right.
Yeah. Won't see that success again, but that's all right. Jen
from Jen's Little Corner. How are you feeling, Jen? How's the head?
Ill. My head's all right. It's the rest. It's my stomach, actually. It hates me.
Yes,
that's what normally happens when I drink. It's what normally happens when I drink vodka. It makes me feel sick, ill.
So for those who missed it, Jen had maybe one too many Romulan ales last night, so it was quite entertaining. Oh yeah, Godless Granny, how are you? Great
Thanks
to see
for
you
having me. This is great.
This is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. I know we've got a video from you, and of course, Godless Scummer. How you doing, brother?
Oi. I hope this will be a bit more fun than the rugby this morning.
No, don't talk about the football.
Nah.
We're not talking about
did you lose?
No, we're not talking about it. It didn't happen. There was no game. There was nothing.
Always happy to come in and help pay tribute to one of Australia's greatest exports, Mr. Ken Ham.
Absolutely. So I guess I want to kick off with where did we all first see Ken Ham? What was your first introduction to Ken? Sam, what about you? Where did you first come across the great Ham man?
Would have been Paul Legere, I'm pretty sure. The name doesn't ring any bells from back in the day for me, so pretty sure it was ham and egg news. So,
Jen, how about yourself?
Oh, sorry, I missed the question.
Granny, how about you?
Ken and I go way back because my first introduction to Ken Ham was when one of my kids, I'm not sure if it's the one that's now 33 or the one that's now 31, was in like 6th grade, and they had missed a day of school, and they had played a Ken Ham video at school for them. And so the teacher had given it to them to bring home and watch at home for catch up. And I watched the video, and even as a Christian, I thought it was pretty disgusting, because what they told the kids to do is if any of your teachers tell you about evolution, you should say to your teacher, "Were you there?" And I thought, oh, great. The school is teaching the kids to be disrespectful to teachers. Wonderful.
It's good Christian values, I think. What about you, Scummer?
I'd heard about this creation museum in Kentucky, but I think my first real awareness of Ken Ham is when he had that debate with Bill Nye, which was about 5 or 6 years ago now that happened. I'm trying to think when that happened now.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's
yeah,
about
a
right.
few.
I think that was my first introduction
But
to.
you know,
I think
I
that's
think
where
Bill
I first
made
saw
him
it too. Actually, now
yeah, and I
YouTube clips.
I mean, I was a little bit concerned because a lot, even though I know that Bill Nye is a very good sort of science communicator, I didn't know how much experience he'd had with debating. As it turned out, I need not have worried. As Bill Nye would go through this stuff, and so I don't have a Bible to hand, but the Ken Ham's response this time, I've got this book.
Yes.
I've got this book every single time.
So my introduction to Ken was it was quite funny, actually. It was when I was a Christian apologist, and we used to have all the Kent Hovind stuff. When I started to have doubts about Kent Hovind and say, I think this guy might be full of shit, they said, no, don't worry. Here's Ken Ham. He doesn't like Kent Hovind either. And that's how I met Ken Ham. And I'm like, he's Australian. He's one of us. Why have I never heard of him? But anyway, that being said, I actually want to get the first video going, and it's actually Sam's video. So
I've been sitting on it too long, so I'm not as keen on it as I was originally.
No, that's okay. I'm looking forward to this. So I haven't seen, apart from the first 2 seconds, I haven't seen it, but I have a feeling where it's going to go. So here we go with. Well, do you want to introduce it, Sam?
So. Yeah, so the joke's probably going to get old about 10 seconds in, and it goes for about 2.5 minutes. But it is a storybook for Ken Ham from the great Dr. Seuss. So this book is actually one of my favorite. Is favorite that word? It's the most memorable book I read when I was a kid. So I thought, hey, green eggs and ham. Let's find a similar to but legally distinct from satire for ham and egg news, and just lean into that a little bit. So
fantastic. Let's do this.
Eggs and Ken Ham, a parody by Vagrant Sam. Do you like Tiktaalik fossils, AIGs, Ken Ham? I do not like them, Sam I am. I do not like Tiktaalik fossils and what they mean for me, Ken Ham. Oh, would you accept facts here or there? I would not accept them here or there. I would not accept them anywhere. I do not like Tiktaalik fossils and what they mean for me, Ken Ham. I do not like them, Sam I am.
Could do a few takes.
Like them from an education. Would you like them from sources that are accepted by the nation? I do not like them from an education. I do not accept them from sources accepted by every nation. I would not accept them here or there. I would not like them anywhere. I do not like Tiktaalik fossils and what they mean for Ken Ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. Would you listen if someone said it from a box? Would you listen if it was provided?
Oh, cool.
That's good.
I would not listen from someone in a box. I would not listen to a scientist who rocks. I do not like.
I started to try and get quicker because it was a lot of repetition being a kid's book. So.
Oh yeah, look, I've read this book to my kids that many times. It's you have to.
Metallic fossils and what they mean.
And it had Sam in it, so you know.
Like them, Sam.
The satire was halfway written.
You may like facts. You will see. You may like them in a tree. I would not, could not in a tree. Facts are scary. Let me be. I would not listen to someone in a box. I would not listen to a scientist who rocks. I do not like them from an education. I do not accept them from sources.
It was a scientist who rocks. That was Navadia, wasn't it?
Accept them here or there. I would not.
I had a few people in mind, but I just.
I do not like Tiktaalik fossils and what they mean for Ken Ham. I do not.
You notice a little Tiktaalik instead of the ham?
I am. You don't like facts, so you say.
Subtle, right?
Try them, and you may. Try them, and you may, I say. Sam, if you will let me be, I will try them. You will see.
We got the eating noise and everything. That's cool.
What it means to me. I do. I accept it, Sam, I am. I would listen to someone in a box. I would listen to a scientist who rocks. I do like them in an education. I do accept them from sources accepted by every nation. I would accept them here or there. I would like them anywhere. I do like Tiktaalik fossils and what they mean for Ken Ham. I would accept these facts anywhere. I do so like accepting facts and evidence. Thank you. Thank you, Sam I am. And then.
Well done. Well done. Yes. I loved it. That was a hell of a lot of fun. Hell of a lot of fun.
Very good.
So we've got We do have a few others. So I've got Mr. Bear's, but I think we might wait for Mr. Bear. And I know One Ring's coming in a little bit later, so we'll get his there a bit after. I'll hold the song off for now, but Granny, we've got some video from you.
Oh.
Well, actually, before we do that, I do have a very special video that has been sent in by the Nevermore Tavern that he insists that we do play. So if you can bear with me on this one, I think this is something for anyone who hasn't seen it. When it loads.
MBN.
I'm actually 5 out of the premises as well. This is great.
That's an Aussie joke, people. MBN, that is. That's the joke. Not what I'm saying.
All right. So we'll come back to that one.
We'll come back.
And we've lost Granny.
We lost Granny.
Oh, no.
Oh no. She'll be back.
It's all right. She doesn't. It must have been the Ed. You know, she doesn't want to see Ed dance. So that's okay. We can. There's other things that we do have that we can bring up. All right. Well, I'll throw up mine. I put a little video together. The national apology. So I'll throw mine up, and we can have a little bit of fun with that one if it plays.
What was that show on ABC that's like by marketing agencies? Is this what we're in for?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Good evening. My name is Chris, also known as the Atheist Pastor. And for those of you who can't tell, I'm from a place called Australia. Yes, it is real. I am here. Many years ago, there was a man who lived in Australia who went by the name of Ken Ham. Now, Ken had some pretty crazy ideas that he tried to share with the people of Australia. First, he tried to share them in his home state of South Australia, Adelaide in particular, known as the City of Churches, but they weren't buying it. They just couldn't see his vision. Then he went to Queensland, which is, we like to call in Australia, the south of Australia, even though it's north.
Smart state. Come on.
He went up there to try and share it, and unfortunately, they weren't having any of it either.
See?
What was Ken to do? Well, fortunately, he did what all good evangelical apologists do. He went to America. Now, in America, the American people were so wonderful, they took him in and they loved him. He became a much-loved figure, so much so that he was given $100 million to build a really big boat in Kentucky. Now, I know that caused a lot of controversy, but what you have to understand is the boat had nothing to do with religion. It's actually part of our Australian culture. You see, in Australia, we're fans of big things. We have the big merino, the big prawn, big banana. In fact, if it's big, you can find it pretty much on any major highway in Australia. Because here in Australia, size really does matter. But I do need to be very blunt and very serious here.
Big balls.
America has done so much for Australia. You know, America came to our aid in the Second World War, and we've been fighting side by side ever since. You gave us The Simpsons, South Park, Game of Thrones, and the great American comedian Kent Hovind. There's a level of guilt that we did send Ken over to you, and for that, we would like to apologise. Formally, on behalf of the Commonwealth of Australia, I am sorry. There is 2 very important caveats, though, that I would like to add to the apology. Now, the first one is, unfortunately, under Australian law, we do have a no returns policy. So as much as we'd like to take him back, the boss has said no, we can't. The other thing that it is very important to remember is, do we really have evidence that Ken Ham came from Australia at all? I mean, as the great man himself would say, were you there? Thank you very much. So I don't know if that was much of an apology, but it's as good as they're going to get.
It's kind of passing the buck a bit there, I think.
Well, it's good for a politician. So.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I was channeling my inner, my inner prime minister there, and it's even got the red power tie out for this one. So it's very rare that it's normally the blue friendly tie. It's the red power tie today, so it was all good fun. Also, want to say big hello to everyone in the chat. I know there's plenty of you in there, and I apologise that I haven't gotten to say hi to anyone. If anyone does want to jump in as well, any of you in the creating community, just make sure that you send me a message, and we'll organise to do that. So, Darth Dawkins, if you're there, no, not tonight, not tonight. Plus, you've got to save yourself for the wedding. You got to, Darth. For those who don't know, Darth's actually getting married. So on Godless Granny's channel, Darth Dawkins is getting married to Kent Hovind. The ceremony is going to be a beautiful, wonderful thing on the 16th of June at 7:30 Central Time, I think it is, isn't it, BM?
Yep, that's right.
Hey, see, I'm getting good at this. So make sure that you bookmark that date, because look, Kent and Darth, they need as many people there to. Well, they are. It's going to be a real lovely thing. So that's
the wedding invitation is published on my Twitter page. So anyone who wants a personal invitation, just check out my Twitter page.
Absolutely.
If we decided who's taking Kent out on the stag do yet, or
I thought you were. You can organise that.
I'll take him out. Yeah,
Matt Power.
Yeah.
I'm organising Darth's hen night, so
yeah.
See, what I'm trying to work out, will Darth wear black or white?
White would be a lie, wouldn't it?
Yeah, white.
I put them both in white on the clear screens that I made of them.
So they're both wearing white.
Yeah, that's true. Well, no, Kent will be wearing Hawaiian, so we all already know that he's going to be tarted up nice and Hawaiian. So,
God, find a Hawaiian suit.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to see if we can get this video going again. Let's see if we can. So this is Grumpy Old Dude's contribution.
I'll do it along with it. I'll dance along with it. Yeah.
And I'm playing this because Grumpy didn't show up today, so we need our Grumpy fix.
Yeah. You probably had too much to drink last night.
Hey, you had more than anyone, and you still made it. I'm pretty impressed.
Oh, I know.
He
was on the coffee anyway.
Yeah, he was fine. Maybe he overdid on the coffee. I don't know. He was making those the New York accent, and he mightn't have been let out of the room. So could have been a lot of things. It's I know Amber's in the chat. You'll have to let us know. Yeah, could have been a big day for him. So what I'll do is I'm going to throw over to Granny's video. Granny, do you want to give us a little bit of an intro into to what you've got?
I made a response to an AIG article. An AIG video where they were introducing their new let's see, what was it called? They're doing a new exhibit in their museum on abortion. And I did a review of that video. Fearfully and Wonderfully Made. That's what it's called.
Excellent. All right. So what we'll do is, hang on, I've actually got to get the right view. So I've got that many things open at the moment, and anyone who knows me knows that I'm not the greatest producer in the world. So the first minute and 27, you said, haven't you?
Yeah. What I did is in the first minute when I introduced, I played his entire video at 27 times speed.
Excellent. That's probably not fast enough, really, but we'll put up with as much of him as we can. So, all right, here we go.
AIG recently posted a video with a sneak peek of their new Fearfully and Wonderfully Made exhibit. This video is played at 3 times speed. Can you spot what's missing? They hope to open this exhibit at the Creation Museum in July. I recently made a 2-part video called What is a Baby, where I speculated on what would be in this exhibit based on the prior work of Dr. David Minton, whose work AIG said would be the basis for the exhibit. I'm sorry to say that what I see in this preview is worse than what I anticipated in my video. So here we go again. Maybe if I can grow this channel enough, AIG will see this, or someone like me, and actually address the real problems here. So let's have a chat.
They've got lots of things with God, but they don't have the fist of God, do they?
Did you see what was missing? Here it is.
By God.
This is the only female presence in the entire exhibit. All the exhibits are embryos, fetuses, Bible verses, and religious arguments. The women aren't given lip service, as I had speculated. They are absent entirely. There are no women in the exhibits. There are no women in the video. And except for models that show people coming to the exhibit that has some visitors being female, there's no women at all. There is one spot in the video where there's a voice of someone off camera.
Like Maria, 7 p.m. Friday night.
It's with Alan.
There, that's it.
We'll see. There we go. There is women at AIG. What are you talking about?
Probably his PA.
Well, what I want to know is, how do you know there weren't any women there? Were you there?
I think one thing you probably could have done just to that is, you know, when you were speeding that video up, I could just picture that going to the Benny Hill to fit.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you know what? Jay, I know you're in the chat. You've got to do that.
If you want to appeal to millennials, though, you got to use Guile's theme from Street Fighter 2. That's the new one. That's the new Benny Hill music.
Or you do the yodel tune.
Well, either way, it's all good. It's all good. All right, so I'm going to throw to our next video. So I've got a video here from Mr. Bear. Now, Mr. Bear's meant to be here. I don't know where Mr. Bear is. Yeah. There's no bear. Has anyone heard from?
His spot is very bare.
It is.
Bear.
Maybe he's hibernating.
Quite
It's
possibly.
not that late where he's from. Oh, it's kind of late, actually. Never mind.
Yeah, no, well, I think he's from the same part of the world as me. But anyway, well, he just doesn't get to intro it. Well, none of us have seen it. So, yeah, no, I guess all care taken, no responsibility.
Ah!
Yeah. Kenny. Sorry. Mr. Hand, the Answers in Genesis guy who built a museum that ironically raises more questions than answers. Perhaps it should be Questions in Genesis.
But the question I got for you, and I've always wondered, you know, what I love to ask people is that they say in Genesis, it says God created the heavens and the earth, you know, and there was light. Well, what's funny is I always tell people, I go, oh, you believe that? You think that? You really know the Bible? We never created the sun until the fourth day.
Right.
Where did the light come from?
This one should be simple, Mr. Hand.
Well, he doesn't tell us, actually.
That's not an answer.
Yeah, okay, you're allowed one more question.
Yeah. Why do you have a zip line if it's about the ark and there are no biblical zip lines?
No zip lines in the Bible? Citation, please.
You know why? Christians, can't we have fun too? Don't you like to do fun things? Yeah.
Mr.
No
Hand,
sex.
your views,
No drugs. No alcohol.
key matters are anything but fun.
When you think about it from a biblical perspective, you can't just look at something and say, oh, that's what the terrorists did. You have to look at it from the perspective of that's what we did. One of the signs of even God judging a nation and withdrawing the restraining influence of the Holy Spirit, one of the signs is the sign of homosexual behavior, as it says in
gosh.
And I believe we're seeing that in this nation. I believe this nation is under judgment.
And just when you think the answers won't stop coming, Ken likes to point to books for babies that explain evolution.
And this one's called Evolution for Babies. This is incredible. This is how you teach babies, how you teach young children.
Such an old man thing to put your phone in the top pocket, isn't it?
This is exciting. This is incredible. This is how
And to use like a handheld mic in a video.
all decided what it will create. It became intelligent.
The ball cannot decide.
No, it did. That's what it says here. Oh, the ball cannot decide. This is how you teach babies.
That's not how God works. A stick is just a stick, after all. God can't change it.
Even if you've got a dead stick, you can have all the energy in the world in that dead stick. It's going to decay, and it's not going to produce life.
Except when God changed a stick into a snake. Ever wanted to know if kangaroos ever existed in the Middle East? Of course you haven't, because there's nothing that supports that notion.
Did kangaroos once live in the Middle East?
I would say it's very possible that they did. Yes, is my answer.
Yes, is correct.
However, there's evidence that an ancestor of the kangaroo migrated into Gondwanaland from the Americas. So if you want to know more, the questions in Genesis, head to the Creation Museum in Petersburg, Kentucky. Just like Bill Nye, the science guy.
I can't stop you, Mr. Ham. You're doing that, I'm going to be wishing like crazy that you all go to universities and learn about the worldview associated with science.
I just want to say a short prayer. A gracious, loving Heavenly Father, we come before you, the creator of the universe, and we thank you and praise you.
Oh, Bill. I feel your pain. I feel it.
Well done, Mr. Bear. Even though he's not here, well done. That was good. That was some good stuff there. That was well put together. Very well done. Now we've got. I think Ring's going to be a little bit late, so I'll try and save Rings for last. But I guess I don't know. What are we all thinking? How are we all feeling about Ken right now?
Well, about the same as we did before, I think.
Yep.
Pretty much a waste of space, isn't he? I mean, he's a waste of space for Americans now and not us, which is... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, his ministry is global, though, so...
that's great. The internet has global reach as well, so...
The only thing I wonder is he really that dumb, or does he do all this because he gets so much money for it?
I'm going with money. I'm thinking he's full of shit.
I'm going with the latter.
And I find it very difficult to believe that you can be surrounded with so much information and obstinately refuse to accept that you don't have any evidence.
It's a level of arrogance that goes with it, isn't it?
Would you say?
I just think he's full of it.
It's his level of arrogance, especially when he's talking to people and that. It's like, it's pretty obvious from his arrogance that he's full of shit. Yeah.
100%. Sorry, Scummer, what were you saying, mate?
I was going to say, just to illustrate the point about how he's money, there's a blog on Answers in Genesis website that he wrote just over a week ago, and it's about the Ark help us reopen the Ark Encounter and Creation Museum. That they're supposed to be reopening in about a week's time, I believe, in June the 8th.
8th of June is what they're planning.
Yes.
Yeah, because God will protect you from the nasty, funny bug that's going around that we shan't name.
Their tagline on that is, "We've weathered the storm and we'll be opening up on the 8th of June."
Yes. And Dave, and Ken has because they're poor, they're a poor little church. They don't have a lot of money. So just, I mean, and I don't know if anyone does want to help them out here in the chat. I can't imagine anyone would, but they are trying to raise $1 million to help reopen the boat.
Of course. Well, I mean, it's they don't have any money to start with, of course.
Yeah.
The sad thing is they will get it.
Oh, they'll get it.
There are so many people
that
support them that they will get it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the support that Hoven's got for building his new dinosaur park. It's just
but all Hoven doesn't he just get married, divorce them, and keep everything in the settlement?
You'll break Darth's heart.
Mr. Bear is here.
Oh,
hey, Mr. Bear.
Oh no.
Oh,
hope everything's okay there, Mr. Bear.
I hope everything's okay.
Thank you, Mr. Bear and Mrs. Bear.
It was a good video, by the way, Mr. Bear.
Very good, very, very good. All right, so Jen, we've got your video ready to go. Do you want to give us the intro? Tell us about.
I just saw similarities between Ken Ham and an old TV show.
All right, we'll take it away.
I can tell you a story about a boy named Pan. He wasn't all that bright, but he believed he had God's plan. He tried to sell the gospel to the people over here, but we didn't fucking like him, so we sent him over there. Pan built himself an ark and hoped that we would come, but most of all the world think that he is really dumb. Because number one rule when you want to build a boat is make sure that it's waterproof and the fucker floats. Now if you know somebody who believes that the world is young, just remember that like old ham, they're not fit for everyone. So put them on a boat and send them to the land of free, 'cause in the land down under we don't like their repartee.
Oh dear!
Well
now,
done.
if there's anything I want to see Grumpy Old Dude dance to, it's that. Yeah, that was awesome, Jen. Well done. And that's not the big song that we're premiering today.
No, that was just me messing around.
That's still that's still good. I think Jay has summed it up perfectly there with an OMG. And you even got a snort from Lissy, so that's always good. And well, Amber thinks it's the best song ever, so I'm thinking we definitely need to get Ed dancing to that one. And excellent, mate. If you can get that to me by the end of the show, I will get that going. We're probably only going for an hour, but see how we go. All right, what I'll do is I'll flick across to no.
Does Jay actually want it? Does he? Does he? Jay want
it?
Does Jay want the song? Does he?
Yeah, he wants you to send the video.
Yeah,
okay.
just
I'll give you
video.
a sec, Jay. I'll do that whilst you guys keep talking.
Oh, okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'll get we've got one ring. He sent us something into as well. So incidentally, all the people who I haven't put everyone in the description yet, but all the links for everyone's channel will go in. So if you see something that you like and you think it's really funny and good content and you want to see more, you'll be able to follow. But I'd say subscribe to everyone anyway. So it's always good. You know, we always need more support in the community. So all right. Here we go. Take it away, One Ring.
You know, for someone who lives his life so literally biblically, I'm surprised you haven't changed your name. You know it's not kosher, right? I kid. But seriously, here's to you, the man who does everything by the book of Genesis, including, you know, his daily grooming. Nah, seriously. You look like a cheap knockoff toy of Richard Attenborough, complete with cheap knockoff Dinosaur Park. Just wondering, how much does it cost to get Newman? How much would it cost to get Newman to hack the Ark? To hack the Ark encounter? I'm asking for a friend, but seriously. You know, here's to you, you magnificent bastard. You got me out of young Earth creationism. I mean, you did need help from a fish that's been dead for a couple 100 million years, or to put it in your terms, a couple times, you know, a couple of magnitudes longer than you think the Earth has been around. But seriously, you know what? I dedicated a school project to you in, you know, junior high. I'm happy to dedicate this to you. So cheers, you biblical bastard. I'd say I'd say you've driven me to drink, but this is root beer, so fuck you.
Oh dear, that is absolutely brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. Well done, Ring. Oh dear. Well, I think we've only got the one more video to go, which is the debut of the song.
Okay.
So I think the stream's going to be a little bit shorter than originally planned, but we had a few people who couldn't make it last minute. So these things happen. Yeah, short and sweet sometimes is a good thing. So that way, the shorter it is, the less chance we have of Jen passing out on camera. So.
Hey, thanks.
That's all right. All right, so the song that we're about to put together. So this is something that a number of creators were involved in, and the wonderful Art Against Ignorance did put together. And it's I've been anticipating there's going to be some familiar vocals. Might be some unfamiliar vocals, but we've got 6 minutes of a song dedicated to Ken Ham, and all these videos will go up at the at everyone's page, and we'll make it all available. We'll have links to everything after. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this as we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ballad of Ken Ham.
Tell you a story about a guy named Ham. His entire life is a bit of a sham. He believes in the young earth creation sciences. He has all of the answers in Genesis. Creator of the Creation Museum. His dinosaur pets on display, you can see him. He spent millions of bucks on a grand theme park, a full-size replica of Noah's Ark. He's a dedicated Christian, fundamentalist, charlatan, preacher, crazy evangelist, the bride of God's song. His name is King Ham. The Ark and Ken.
That's the sign? Jesus.
Six Christian colleges gave him honorary degrees, an author of books, both convenient and free. He had proved evolution, nobody was there. So the Bible is true, just have faith and say prayer. So forget about Darwin, just follow Bible genealogy. From Adam to Jesus, the Bible has told. The universe is only 6,000 years old. No evidence will change his ludicrous point of view. The world has to fit into his biblical skin. He's memorized as fast as he can. He's the Ark and counterman. Can needed somebody to prop up his name, put some extra dosh and a little more fame. So he invited Bill, because Bill was nice and quite well known as the science guy. Now Ken doesn't need proof, no, he doesn't need facts, but the science guy does. It's a matter of fact, but unwittingly and not according to plan. Just let a little credit to this tool of a man. So they drew their guns in the time for the debate. Bill spoke truth while Ken did verbally masturbate. It was a blessed celestial scam for the Ark and counterman. If you need a job, Ken may
Yeah, take it away, Jen.
sign where it says being gay is a sin. Yeah, he talks with love and he preaches hate, and it makes you think he's not really your mate. Shame
Each shenanigans count his pious soul. Tax evasion, swindles and all. But if you're religious, you're forgiven these flaws, 'cause God permits you to break all the laws.
He boasts his omnipotent. God was behind the flood, but science disproves
I know that rapping would.
that he's enough of reality. He's not a fan, 'cause he's the Ark Encounter These mountains are fun for your such good sports. We thank y'all for this Aussie export. Kentucky gave you chicken, so you gave us ham. But your lad from lab without being a goddamn. He's rude, he's arrogant, he's a bit of a prick. Kentucky fried ham kind of makes him feel sick. Well, he's welcome here, you're in your chill. Of American love assholes doing God's will.
So we Aussie hackers have something we want to say. Kentucky has things negative. That's where he should stay. Yeah, he's the king of celestial scams. He's the Ark Encounter.
In the studio audience, we just hear some crickets. And in the museum lines, just some lonely old pickets. Seems that most of us really just don't care. In all honesty, Ken's art is a pathetic affair.
He's a dedicated Christian, fundamentalist, charlatan, preacher, crazy evangelist. His name is Dan, he's the Ark Encounter.
Oh wow.
It's not getting anyone. Rah!
Sensational. Wow, well done, everyone. Well done, Art. Well done for putting that together.
That was brilliant.
Oh, thank you, Art. That was brilliant.
That was sensational. It's Art never lets anyone down. He is just amazing, Art. Now I've been told to excellent. Okay, so I think we've got one more video that's about to pop up. So it's I'm very excited for this one. It's a last minute inclusion
Entry.
that we've got. So yes, it's I just got the message to check my DMs, and it's normally when someone tells me to check my DMs, I get excited thinking there might be something fun in there, and I haven't been let down. So, well, I don't think I have anyway. So here we go with the final entry.
I'll tell you a story about a boy named Ham. He wasn't all that bright, but he believed he had God's plan. He tried to sell the gospel to the people over here, but we didn't fucking like him, so we sent him over there. And told himself one rule when you want to build a boat is make sure that it's waterproof and the fucker floats. You know somebody who believes that the world is young. Just remember that like old Ham, they're not fit for everyone. So put them on a boat and send them to the land of free. 'Cause in the land down under, we don't like their repartee.
It is absolutely the gift that just keeps on giving, isn't it? The gift that keeps on giving. Well, that's
really one of the that's one of the greatest memes going on the internet right now.
So will you send this to Ken Ham?
Well,
Oh,
I tagged
yeah,
him.
but yeah,
I was hoping that Ken was going to show up, but we haven't had Ken show. I thought he might.
You even invited Ray as well, you know.
I did invite Ray. Yes, I threw a few cheeky invites in there just so people could say I was tagged in a tweet with Ray Comfort. You know,
We've done Ray yet or not? Because he's got to come up at some point, isn't he? For a roast.
We should invite Ray to do a 6-pack with us.
Yeah.
You know what?
He claims to like talking with atheists. But,
I would love. Ray's the kind of guy who might just say yes.
Okay.
He talked to Godless Engineer.
Yeah, he's got it on his Answers.tv bloody TV show where he calls him like the worst thing on the internet.
Yeah. I know he talked to Jackson as well, didn't he? But
I was going to say, I don't know if you've noticed that Ray and Ken have actually been guilty of this lately, where they're sending out the horrific clickbaity Twitter, tweets, where they know that they're just going to get like all of us just going like, "You are a complete fucking moron." Like have you noticed that there isn't a lot of Christian love coming out of Answers in Genesis lately? It's more Christian clickbaity hate.
It is.
Oh.
And it's not just towards atheists; it's towards everything that they don't consider their biblical stuff. It's just
that's because there's two positions: theirs and everyone else.
Yeah. It's very much us and them, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it's look, for all the talk of they want to have conversations and they want to reach out, they're full of shit. They are absolutely, what they want to do is they want to play to their audience, which is Christians who don't know any better. I'm not going to say that they're unintelligent, because I used to I remember sitting back in the day and watching some Way of the Master and getting watching good old Kirk Cameron. He was an actor, so that gives him credibility. But anyway, well, good comment there from grumpy old dude himself. Yeehaw! Well done. Well, look, I think on that note, so we've gotten through the videos, and I want to thank everyone who contributed to this tonight, and thanks to all of you for coming in and showing up and joining in on the fun.
We enjoyed it.
I hope everything's good with you, Bear, and apologies to Ring. I think Ring was running a bit late after work, but we'll get.
There were a few people who actually wanted to join us if we went later, but I don't know if we keep ourselves going later. That's the problem.
No, I think that's the thing. I think the lesson is for next time. Remember, I think we might do it in the evening in the US. So it's probably a little bit hard when it's like what time is it there for you, Granny?
It's 7:45 in the morning.
Yeah. I think we probably went a little bit too early.
We probably aim for a Saturday morning or something for us.
Yeah.
It is Saturday morning here. Yeah.
Yeah, but for us,
but for us,
Friday
night. That's all right. We'll work it out. See, this is what happens when you live on the other side of the planet. I just wish people would conform to our time zones rather than the other way around. But look, I guess it's important that we did it in on Australian time, considering that's where Ken's from, and next time we'll be nicer and we'll redo it in US time. So look, thanks everyone for coming. Any final thoughts from all of you all?
I've still got 2 subs to get to 500 efficiently.
Click the button.
I'm going to keep saying it till I hit it properly.
Sam?
The final roast on Ken Ham, I think. For me, I think the biggest proof that he is full of shit is that he monetizes, like he actually hides his message behind a paywall. You have to pay money to get the word of God from Ken Ham. I know there's some stuff he puts out there for free, but looking at Answers.tv really highlighted how much, like, as a Christian, I cannot think of any mindset I would get into where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put this message that God's given me to give to people on a paid streaming service. And that, I think, really exposes his heart and that he is not in it for the right reasons. So, boom, roasted. I'm done.
Bang, well done. Granny?
One thing that I would add is that when I was a Christian, the pastor at the church I went to was something of an intellectual, and he really pushed a lot of education in the more intellectual of the study of Christianity. And the more intellectual side of fundamentalism even rejects Ken Ham as being ridiculous, because Ham says that anyone who does not accept young Earth creationism is not a Christian. And the more intellectual side of fundamentalism, they accept old Earth creation, and they accept that that the narrative is metaphorical of periods of thousands of years over which God supposedly was shaping the creation. And so, Ham's rejection of the majority of Christians as being not Christian is also telling of how narrow his mindset is.
I think that's pretty well put, actually. What about you, Scummer? Any last little bits of love you want to send to the Ham Man?
I think there was actually a Christian comedian who said something that sums up kind of Ken Ham, and certainly sums up the Ark Encounter. He said his favorite.
Ken Hovind?
No, he actually. But this guy went to the Ark Encounter and said, first thing he noticed is it was a severe weather shelter. How's that for irony?
See what I loved was when he couldn't get the flood insurance.
Yeah.
And then of course he got all the flood damage, which is just brilliant. I mean, you couldn't write this stuff if you wanted to. It's just
you know what? I mean, if there was a God, he really hates Ken Ham.
The most telling thing about Ken Ham is at the end of the debate with Bill Nye, where the moderator asks them both, "What would change your mind?" And Bill Nye goes, "Evidence," and Ken Ham goes, "Nothing."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that just sums Ken Ham up. He doesn't care about that. He cares about how much money he can get off people, but he really doesn't care about evidence or anything else. It's the machinery of what he does.
I've heard a couple atheists say that that's what caused them to deconvert, was the realization that the Christians just simply deny the truth.
Yeah.
Well, evolution at Bible College was what started me down the journey, because it was when we were talking, I was trying to fit an old Earth creation model into Genesis, which I couldn't do, and I was asking the question and basically got laughed at. I said, no, well, it's clear that it's a young Earth creation. I'm just like, well, evidence. And that started the snowball effect that turned me from Christian pastor to atheist pastor.
Ironically, I think it's definitely the fundamentals that are more Christian in terms of taking it literally. Like, it's clearly that even if it wasn't written literally, it was thought of as literal by people in the New Testament to a certain degree. And so the more intellectual Christians, ironically, are people that are going less and less strong in like believing the Bible as it stands, and good on them, I guess.
I mean, I've got to say, last week we got to have a joke at Ken Ham and some of the just the idiocy that he puts out there at times. I think we've got to remember that I think Answers in Genesis is a quite insidious and dangerous organization in a lot of ways, because they actually do employ people with like legitimate PhDs in certain fields who obviously these people have no integrity. They'll take Ken Ham's money. Like that woman who quite often does Answers News with Ken Ham, Georgia Prideaux. She knows better. She knows better.
Isn't she somehow related in there? Because I think one of them.
Married to one of the sons or something.
Yeah, because I think one of the guys is married to one of the daughters. So have you ever noticed how they keep it with this very much the family business?
Yes. Yes.
It gets passed down from coincidentally the best pastor to pass it on to is my child. So But yeah, you're right. It's and you see so much dishonesty in there. But I mean, I take anyone who's got a PhD in that organization, I take it with a grain of salt, because I mean, Kent Hovind's a doctor.
Oh, the first thing to check as well is is their PhD relevant to what they're talking about? Because you can have infinite amount of knowledge in a particular field and then be shit at fossils.
I did an interview with Aaron Ra last night that I'm putting into a video that will release tomorrow if I finish it in time. And he told me a story I had not been aware of, that they've got an anthropologist that's a legit anthropologist on the show. And he's got a legit degree and published, information on anthropology. And then when he got hired by Answers in Genesis, he denied everything that he ever said in his legitimate stuff.
Well, they kind of have to. It's part of the things that they sign when they join.
They
And
sign
it's
a-
just...
They
Yeah, they
sign
sign
a statement of faith when they join. And I mean, this is the other thing. I mean, when you look at things like the Ark Encounter and this Creation Museum, I mean, because obviously he sort of started off with these things where people had to sign a statement of faith to want to work there or whatever. So they probably all joined up, thinking, there's probably a lot of very decent, like Christian people thinking they were doing something good by going to work for Ken Ham. He pays them shit wages. They're working 40 hours a week or more, and having to get another job on the side just to
because they're volunteers.
Yeah.
Hovind did the same shit.
Yeah,
he was doing the same thing.
I mean,
the thing. Sorry.
I just think Ken Ham and Answers in Genesis are just a far more sophisticated and organised version of Kent Hovind. At the end of the day, that's what they are.
Ken Ham is what Ken Hovind wants to be.
Oh, definitely. The thing you have to remember about the academics at AIG is that academics in general don't earn that much money, considering, especially if you're a PhD, considering the number of years you get it to become an academic and to do science and do experimentation and discover new things. Your pay is actually not equivalent to, say, if you went and actually became a doctor. You're not earning the same sort of money at all. So a lot of these academics who don't do as well in academia because they're not quite as good end up going into things like AIG, because unlike the rest of the people who work for AIG, they can earn decent money writing bullshit for AIG to try and convince the rabble. So they actually earn better money being young Earth creationists, even if they don't believe it, than they would if they were out doing the real science.
There's definitely money. There's definitely money in Christian evangelism. Like let's not kid
definitely.
There is big money.
What's the name of the one who's normally on the AIG panel when they're doing the discussion? What is
usually Ken Ham, George Padar. Forget the other one.
Brody. Yeah, Georgia.
Or Brody, whatever his name is.
Yeah, it's Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, Georgia's got a doctorate, and she's actually published a couple of papers in her field, which isn't relevant to most of the crap that she actually talks about. But compared to most academics who are out there, she's published bugger all. And that's the thing, they count the little articles they write for AIG as their published articles, which no one else in the rest of science would ever count.
That's not a peer-reviewed academic journal.
It is not.
No.
The one, I'm guessing this might be the one Aaron Ra was referring to yesterday, but was it Andrew Snelling? He's another PhD.
Yes. Yep,
who,
that's the one.
He's quite notorious that he published he's got PhD in geology, and he published obviously a paper or whatever that he then went totally against and renounced it or whatever when he started to work for what was to become Answers in Genesis. So I forget what it was called before that. That's probably, I'm guessing that's the one Aaron Ra mentioned, because I know Andrew Snelling's one of his real pet hates in the movement.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, no, the
never,
whole thing's
never mind my ups. I can't cut and paste.
The whole thing's a scam. All right, well, look, on that note, we might end it there. We've just about hit the hour mark, so that's actually we did hit the hour. So there we go. So look, everyone, thanks again for coming. Thanks everyone who's enjoyed it and been in the chat. Thanks to everyone who's watching in the future. Everyone have a good night, good evening, good morning, or good whatever it is wherever you are on this beautiful planet we all occupy.